Hi there, and thank you for clicking on my video. Um, the topic of making plat was mentioned, and I've been giving this a thought since it was. Um, and to be honest, I'm not really sure where to start on making plat. The short answer, as unpopular as it is, on how to make plat the most efficient way. The short answer, the unpopular answer, but the correct answer is the easiest way to make plat is to get a job. That being said, if you are free to play, if you are dedicated to it, if you want to make plat in game, there are several strategies and tips and knowledge that you could use, and I am going to attempt to cover that in this video. At least the basics. Um, and again, maybe some more of the advanced stuff. So I would say this is a plat making 101, 102 level topic. First and foremost, we'll speak broadly on it. Mods. Droppable mods can be sold. Their worth is essentially tied up in their drop rate and how much of a hassle they are to farm. And that's it. If a mod drops regularly and drops often, it's worth nothing. If a mod has a low drop chance from a pain in the ass enemy to get to, in a mission that nobody enjoys, you might have something that's worthwhile. That being said, off the top of my head, there, I think it's called turret velocity. This mod is worth some plat. I am going to pull up the chart for it. This is a farmable, droppable mod, and it is one of the few mods that I do not have in the game. And it currently goes for 140 plat. And would you like to know why? Because it has a 0.13 to a 0.0 or 0.13 or 0.12 between those drop rate on enemies that don't necessarily spawn every mission or spawn one or two at a time every mission. That's why it is an absolute pain in the butt to get. And with all of the railjack missions, actually having tried to farm this, the only feasible way I could recommend farming this is if you are running a double mod booster. So you go in with a friend, you run double mod booster, and you literally go into the railjack mission and do nothing but kill the exos and the elites that drop it. And if you don't get the mod, literally just leave the mission. That being said, in terms of high value mods, they become incredibly difficult to farm, and it's just a shit show. That being said, a more realistic, also I will put a link to the Warframe Market. This is, if you don't know what this is, for new people, this is essentially trade chat, but the real one, and without having to deal with everybody shouting at once. You wanna... Okay, whatever this is. Armored Acrobatics. Nobody would do that. Let's do... Okay, let's do Arcane Acceleration. It's an arcane. You're thinking about selling arcane acceleration, the cheapest amount somebody is willing to accept for this mod is 190. On the other side, if you have an arcane acceleration and you don't want to bother with waiting, you can sell it, and the most somebody is willing to pay is 160, and you could sell it right away. So this website exists. It is an actual auction house on some things like rivens. You can see what stuff goes for, like this Brahma riven. Cork Bloodhound. Oh, that's a whatchamacallit? That's a ledge. Okay. This Corinth riven. It's for auction. There aren't any bids so far. Starting price of 1p, real common to see, with a buyout price. So you can bid 350, contact the seller saying, hey, I'm hitting you for your buyout price. Message them in game. Once you bid, they can take it down, no problems. You're done. But in terms of selling mods, it is my recommendation to start with mods that are a little bit out of the way, but you can farm by volume, and use the law of averages where you max out your trades every day. A lot of people do. As you're running your missions, you have your posts up on Warframe Market. You sell a mod for 5 to 10 plat. That's a trade. But you get, say your MR9, you get 9 trades a day. That's 90 plat a day. That's 500, was that 630 plat a week. That is a couple of bucks to spend in the market, to spend at the store, and that's definitely going to cover any form of usage that you use, or decorations you want to get, or skins. That would be the way that I would recommend. The second way, so the first way is farm Silver Grove mods, or any mod that is easily accessible, that has a value of 10 to 20 plat, but might come from like a bounty. Like one of the mods that I know of that still sells plat-wise has its value locked up in the endo you have to put in it. So if you're willing to put in some work, you can go to Deimos and sell blood rushes. You do the Deimos bounty, you get a blood rush, the same bounty on rotation, flips back and forth between blood rush and weeping, depending on the reward pool. It's the same bounty though, but the reward pool flips back and forth. And you can sell weeping wounds and blood rushes and make a decent income. You're going to be farming endo for days and days. And it would be worthwhile to, on like resource weekends, do an endo farm. But you can make decent endo doing that. So you have the Silver Grove mods, you have the combo counter mods from Deimos, Condition Overload as well, run bounties. The other one would be prime sets. And for prime sets to maximize the money that you make, there is actually a website that helps this tremendously. WF Info, and I'll put a link to this in the bottom also. This is an overlay for Warframe that at the end of it, when you open relics, at the end game screen, or the round screen, if you will, where it shows you your 4 choices, will then Google on Warframe Market, it'll search on Warframe Market the plat value on the market of what each of those items are, and will make a little drop down that shows below it, or not a drop down, it'll have extra numbers below each thing that tells you what its current plat value is on the market. And to be honest, this is probably the easiest way to make plat. It's super easy to passively generate plat this way. You're going to be opening and immediately selling farmable relic primed items. But if you need plat for like a weapon slot or a warframe slot, you can get that money or that plat in like an hour using this method. Or say you want some cosmetic and it costs like 200 plat, you could do 200 plat in like 2 days. Easy. If you hard farm like this, and I'll put a link to this also. And this works with Warframe Market. So this is definitely a do both sort of thing. That would be in terms of immediate plat cash flow. The other thing, and you probably notice it a lot, is if, say, you bought a Prime accessories pack or a Prime access pack, and you are plat heavy, and you want to leverage that to make more plat. On Warframe Market, and I forget the site for it, but you can look, which the thing you're going to look for is historical values. You will find some item that Barrow has, and you will offer in trade chat, and everybody does this if they have a bunch of plat, is eventually it gets to the point where you have so much plat, and I am almost there right now. I'm at like 6,800 or something like that, where in terms of plat income per hour, it would be more efficient for me to offer plat for 100 Ducat items, buy mods and sellable items off of Barrow, then wait 6 months and sell them at a higher value. So you use, it's not arbitration, but you use larger trends in the market to take advantage of what you're selling. And a lot of my primed mods that I know are going to be worth a bunch aren't worth anything right now because Barrow, the TennoCon relay just came out and just went away. So primed mods aren't worth anything right now. But in 6 months, primed mods will be back and worth a ton again. But it requires you to be able to get the endo and the credits to be able to sell stuff. That is another strategy. Then you could do, for if you like trading, and it is what you consider your version of Warframe, you can do price arbitrage. Find somebody, if you have a mod and somebody in trade chat wants to buy it for 30p, and you know it's worth 10p on Warframe Market, sell your mod to that person for the 30p. You will then be without a mod, but then go to Warframe Market and buy the mod back from somebody else for cheaper, and you'll net the difference. I haven't done that in a while, but I have done that. Just to be able to pocket the difference. Because, I mean, 50p is 50p. If you have a ton of endo, one of the things you can do, let me pull up Warframe Market. If you are resource rich, one of the strategies you can use to make money is if you look, this is a bad example, but it still shows it. You can buy the cheapest unranked mod of, say, Primed Animal Instinct and turn around and sell it for 100p more if you are resource rich and you can afford to do this, but you want the P. This is a way for you to cash your resources into actual plat. But you have to be sitting on some resources to do this. And I've done this a couple times if I just have like a ton of something sitting around. But credits and endo, I know when I was doing Railjack missions and I was sitting on like 1.5 million endo, I did this when I had farmed up all my variations and armaments. I probably had 1.5 million endo from Railjack from running those missions so much, and I burned through probably 40 mods. Well, that's 4,000 plat. So this is a strategy you can use. You can look up statistics. This helps. Okay. So maxed May. You can do 90 days. See what the average price is. You can time the market. So see it dropped down to 177. There have been a couple that have popped up to 220. Let's do something I know moves a little better. All right, I have seen this mod sell for 300p. So we're down here. Lowest price 100. And in a 3-day period, somebody sold one for 160. This has wild swings. Like within the same time period. Like to read these charts, you have the average. You have the moving average, you have the median. So the median would be like you have 3 mods. The median would be whatever the price of the middle one is. The moving average would be a generalized median based on the top and bottom. So when you look at the median, there was one mod that sold for 117. But there might have been one mod that sells at least at 162, because you see the lighter area. But then there might have been 2 that sold for 150. So it pulls the median value up based on the number. So you know that stuff's selling up here, but you can occasionally grab a steal. Same like over here where it's sitting higher. Somebody had to have sold down here 126. And this was probably somebody selling to a buy order. That's probably what that was. But these would be the sell ones. This would be a couple people bought, so it shoots up. But the average sticks around here and is probably right here. So you can play markets if you want. It's super slow, but that being said, if you're patient, you can make sure to get this bottom pick, but you got to be willing to sit there with plat in your account to be able to do this. It's fun if you love reading charts and making predictions. See, like it's what do we got? July 22nd. Like 18 were sold. 17 or 18, whatever that is. And it's moving higher. And I could imagine the value would crash after TennoCon. Like they weren't, and you'll see like the around TennoCon, the sales dry up and the prices drop down. So let's see, 48 hours. One didn't sell for what, 48 hours? One sold for 170, 165, 170, 180. So the price is coming up a little bit, but people aren't buying now. So it's literally whoever posts it. So you have to be able to read these. But this is something you can do. If you have endo and credits, This is a more guaranteed plat flow. Like if I went and bought this for 70, an unranked one, I could turn around and sell it for 180. Boom. 110 plat. But it's going to cost me that amount of credits and that amount of endo. So you got to have that on hand. Let's see. I've seen in rarer stuff, I've seen people pay for carries occasionally, and it's very little. But if somebody really needs somebody to level them, I have seen people pay like 1p around to ESO. Or they'll do Railjack. It was really common on this Grenier node where you could hyper level people. Like it was practically Hyper Express. And it was the rate that I saw offered was 10p for a frame sentinel weapon, primary, secondary, and melee being leveled all at once. And that's very, very rare. Let's see, what else is there? There's services, arbitrage, the markets. But to be honest, prime sets is probably going to be your best option. Obviously, there are Rivens. Everybody has heard about that crazy 50k plat Riven. And let me be frank. I know it applies to me. I can only assume it applies to the Riven dealer guys also. Your best Riven is not for sale. Your second best is. Now, that is if they are using it. And if they are doing like level cap runs. If they actively benefit from the usage of that Riven, it is not for sale. That being said, if they are a true market maker, because when you start getting into those hyper expensive Rivens, it is all about name recognition and knowing who the other person is. Like if I need, there are a couple people I can contact. If I need a hyper specific god roll, I'm going to pay through the ass for it. But if I got 5,000 plat, I'm willing to slap on a Riven and request the roll. There are people that I can go to that will either roll a Riven, I will supply them with the Riven, and I will pay 1p a roll, and they will literally roll it because they have so much Kuva. They will roll it until I get the Riven that I want. But it's because they like doing Kuva runs so much. So there's always something like that. If you find that you hyper specialized in something, there's also arcanes from Eidolons. I'm not gonna say it's hyper concentrated, but it is a finely tuned way of making money doing arcanes. You can also sell syndicate mods is a good passive form of income. And that might be something if you don't like going to the extra website. This is safe, but it's at the same time, that's not you knowing it's safe. It's me having used this a bunch. I know it's safe, but you don't know it's safe. You know what I mean? Like you don't have personal experience with the website, but I'll put a link in the bottom if you want to check it out. Selling faction mods or syndicate mods is an excellent source of passive income. You can do that. There's also what else? And another thing specific weapon parts. I mean, it goes along with like Syndicate, but there are a couple weapon parts. Like there was a point last year where I was farming war parts because we found a specific node where the syndicates, or not the syndicates, the sentinels dropped, and we were farming up 400 plat an hour on this one specific node because, going along with what I said first, find an area where it's super annoying to do, and the mods, the rare mods from that area, will be worth more because nobody wants to farm it. So we were farming Ejection Magazine and War Hilts. And we were farming them by the truckload. At the time, Ejection Magazine was 20p, and War Hilts were like 30p. So we were farming those up, and then there was also another mod that we sold where it was like 10p each. But that was the thing we were running, and I would go in with a buddy, and we would sit in a survival on Lua. That doesn't work anymore. But in order to find where the plat can be made with what you are doing, think about what the worst area or the area where you only pass through one time, like say the Silver Grove on Earth. Most of the mods on the Silver Grove are straight up not worth anything. Growing Power's worth something. Let's see what it's for right now. $40p. It's got a low drop chance. It's a Silver Grove item. 6%. This would probably be Baby Tenno's first mod farm. 6%. You go in with a party of 4 people, make 3 friends, people from your clan. You farm up the resources to make this. You make... does it list it? Here we go. You make this apothec by the dumpster load. And you go in 2 at a time. Every single person in the party drops 2 of these. You go in with like a Necros, a Korra. Everybody's got mod drop boosters. What is it? A Chessa, I think. One of the Kubros has a timed 45% chance for double drop, but you can front load it. Where normally, like with the Smita, is significantly better. But if you are attacking and hyper farming a specific enemy, I think it's the Chessa, is better than the Smita in very specific instances. And you would go in with that, and for the 3 of you, or for the 4 of you, you can leave with like 19 mods from the Silver Grove Spectres. So you would do something like that and hyper focus on it. Obviously team effort. But this would probably be Baby Tenno's first plat farm if you were to farm mods. But honestly, I would recommend plat sets. Sets go for more than parts. Do Radiant Relics from ESO, and then go burn them. And whatever you got, you sell, or when you're sitting on a pile of them, every time Barrow shows up, turn it into plat instead of buying the Barrow stuff. You can make some good plat that way also. But I just realized I talked for 30 minutes, but this is me just shooting the shit, talking about ways that I make money in Warframe. If you have any more questions about something specific, leave something in the comment section, because this video was for somebody specific, and I hope this helped. But anyway, thank you, and have a blessed day.